Maisie Williams, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I think the way I'm going to classify the times we're living in, that we're living in weird times. We're living in weird times. Now, why am I saying we're living in... Well, there's so many reasons. There's so many reasons why I can say that. But specifically, Doctor Who articles, they've got weird. They've just got weird and kind of like meandering and just like not going anywhere and confused. An example of that is the article we're about to look at here from, not from Screen Rant, from What Culture. It's weird, meandering, goes nowhere, and somewhat pointless. I mean, it really, genuinely strikes me as somewhat pointless. But there's at least one point to it. We can take the piss out of them, right? We can take the piss out. Now, why would I want to take the piss out of anyone? Well, you know, fair game. they were somewhat naughty to us for the last 5 years, you know, the media. But you know, that's essentially why. Why would we want to take the piss out of them? Well, you know, if they all just said sorry for all the you know, calling us bigots and islamophobes and all these weird things that nobody is. Like, honestly, nobody is at all. I think we could all move on, but they really don't want to say sorry, right? So I'm really going to take the piss, right? Until such time there is so much good Doctor Who going on, I don't even need to think about that. And honestly, that's kind of where I think we're going to be, yeah, maybe a year from now, right? I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on. I just think that the culture war is basically over at this point. There's a complete retreat going on in terms of, however you want to describe it, platforming of agenda, using properties as platforms. Star Trek has, again, complete surrender, complete retreat from that. It seems to be that Marvel are also like, oh my god, cancel everything, I don't know what we're going to do. I think Indiana Jones got reshot. Like, why? Because its budget is huge. Its budget is $297 million, which is higher than the budget for Solo, which they had to shoot twice. Okay, so I think they probably had to do a lot of work to fix that, to what's her name, Phoebe Waller-Bridget, right, to Kathleen Kennedy. I think that's the context of what we're looking at. But for right now, we're just in like this weird time where they don't have anything to particularly champion. They don't have anybody to vilify. They don't have us to say, "Oh, look at toxic fandom." They don't have that anymore. So now we just got these weird meandering articles, which this is an example of. So, like I said, we will take the piss, right? We will take the piss. Like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Look in the video notes. You'll be able to sign up my Substack. Now, I have a new thing going on there, and I screwed up the first time. The first time I put this out, I screwed it up. I'm really not happy. I had an AI of Paul McGann reading the Dying Days, but I listened to the whole thing, and I really wasn't happy with it, and I just made a couple of tweaks, and now it sounds so much better. Trouble is, it actually cost me money to produce this, right? So I don't know. I think I might, when I get to the end of the book, I might republish it, right? I might redo that first chapter because I'm really disappointed. Like, look, I was doing it on the fly, trying to get it out in time, but I'm really disappointed because I worked out how to do it really well. Anyway, so sign up my Substack. You'll get this on a book and tape. This weekend we're going to get Colin Baker, which is going to sound great. Reading Millennial Rights. I can't wait. Now I know how that. The first one I was doing was the Dying Days. So I had a sharp learning curve, and I think we've worked it all out. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. Look in the video notes. Substack. Instagram, I'm going to try and get back to posting to Instagram soon, hopefully today. Maybe I feel like now I got this project of getting the AI voices, like, I think working, right? I can now get back to life again. I've got to finish writing something as well. So like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Twitter Blue, baby, where are you? Come on, don't tickle my balls. They keep saying they're going to roll it out in Israel, and they as yet have not. I want that blue check mark. I want the blue check mark. Because I think it's going to make the right people really unhappy, right? I think it's going to make them absolutely crazy. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are very good. Now, I don't even remember when I recorded this. This is from a live stream. Look, basically, if you want to know, the format for my channel is shifted slightly, right? I do live streams on Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday and Thursday, right? And then I have live original videos At least one on the days that I'm not live streaming those 3 days. But also I take the stuff from the live streams, which is what we're doing right now, and make them into their own videos, right? Because it seems to be working, right? It seems to be working. It gives me more content. People like it. The feedback's generally good. I aim to please, baby. That's what I'm here at your pleasure. I'm here to pleasure you, baby. Well, technically speaking, yes, but I don't think I'm going to go to that great lengths to do it. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. Now, let me hand. I think I did this on Thursday. I'm behind. There's a lot of stuff I'm trying to get out. I think this is I'm going to hand over to me from Thursday night. Doctor Who mistakes that were intentional. Well, I bet you. I'll tell you which ones I guessed at the time. Right? Let's find out. Not every mistake was simply an accident. In November 2023, where Doctor Who will be 60 years old, with being on TV, well, unless you count that blip in the middle, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Doctor Who is amazing, brilliant, fantastic, but like any other show, mistakes can and do happen. Well, that is true. Unit Dating, to name but one, right? Unit Dating. Which actually was the name of quite a good Big Finish audio, I think on the third Doctor event. No, River Song, which he landed in the third Doctor Adventures, which was actually way better than it sounds. Oh, we should have a look at Big Finish soon. The new first Doctor one's out. Fine, let's do this first. Yes, Doctor Who is amazing, blah, 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 blah. However, sometimes a mistake is a mistake, or sometimes they were there. But yeah, which ones did we know? Was to make a shop made them easier to accomplish because it wasn't viewed as a big deal at the time, or because the director changed them? Oh, okay, let's see what it is. These make some fascinating behind-the-scenes tales why certain inaccuracies were left in the show. You might say embarrassing. As you think, okay. Easy Rider, the Day of the Doctor. Everybody loved this. The TARDIS the bike riding into the TARDIS, right? Yeah. Why not? Right at the start, the 50th anniversary of the Day of the Doctor. One thing I like about the anniversaries, I think, maybe with the exception of is the Five Doctors a Fifth Doctor story? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But Fifth Doctor's the way into it. Okay, I like the way the anniversary stories you go from the perspective of the current Doctor, which is interesting because now it's David Tennant. Okay. Clara gets a call from her intergalactic boyfriend and goes off to meet him. She spots the TARDIS parked on a country road and zooms into a motorbike. This is delightful. Everybody loves this. Why couldn't she go, pick her up from work? Poor form Doctor. It's the TARDIS. He's never that accurate. Anyway, the TARDIS doors fly open and Clara rides into the central room. But hang on. Where the steps that are using the entranceway? You could the TARDIS reconfigured momentarily to help them out. Yeah, come on. The mistake was purely practical. What with the steps are being removed, so the bike had a smooth floor to ride on. As for in universe situation, well, the TARDIS is a sentient machine capable of transforming itself. We're pretty sure it can move a couple of steps. Yes, exactly. Flipped manipulate. What? The empty child? Oh, the empty child. I thought you were going to say the timeless child. Flip manipulator? Oh, okay. You mean, they flipped the image. Yeah. Time Agent turns Supremo Captain, talks with Supremo Captain Jack in her first introduction in Series 1-2 by the empty adult Doctor Dancers. Probably one of the best ones of the series. You can really see Eccleston's performance, birthday boy, Eccleston's performance massively improved after these two, right? He finally understood what Doctor Who was. Let's say you're Rusty Davis, right? And you got Christopher Eccleston, he's the Doctor. You want him to watch Doctor Who so he understands the essence of the show. What would you have him watch, I wonder? Remember, this is the revival of it. And they didn't want to be too adherent to the past, right? They bought the classic things very, very sparingly. But what episodes would you show him? I think Ark in Space. Yeah, Ark in Space is archetypal, right? I think that's one you really have to see. Tomb of the Cybermen, Ark in Space, Tomb of the Cybermen, what's it called again? The second Yeti one. What's it called again? What's it? Bottomless Snowman and not the Web Planet. What the Web of Fear. Oh motherfucker, Web of Fear. Yeah, either of those ones really show who the Doctor is. I think. Let me think. What else? I think Survival. Yeah, Survival, because I think that's a very similar vibe to what they were going for. But more is like I think his new adventure, Damaged Goods, which years later got made as a audio, which is I listen to it every Christmas. Love it, absolutely love it. But his other one, the what was it called again? The missing story, the lost story, whatever it's called, that he wrote when he was when he was young. It was awful. Mind of Hojak. Avoid that like the plague. It's really bad. Here we learn all sorts about the lovable rogue, that he's from the future, that he's attracted to anything with a pulse, and he can travel through time using his wrist router manipulator. However, towards the end of one scene, Captain Jack uses Space Hopper to scan the gas mask wearing zombies. The device is clearly on his right wrist, but a few seconds later, who gives a shit? That was clearly off. Yeah, who gives a shit? Come on. Yeah. The Iron Cross. They took that off. Yes, 1 second. This is an interesting story. The full stock zero Genesis of the Daleks. Fantastic. One of the reasons why I would say Ark in Space is because in that first episode, you got the Tom Baker's soliloquy. It's like, it's gorgeous, right? Man, that is gorgeous. I think City of Death as well, right? To get you that's the sort of fun, silly vibe they want to get, right? I think. But I think though, like if you watch Tomb of the Cybermen, City of Death, and Ark in Space and Survival, saying the Doctor's the same person throughout. That's what you need to grab a through line for the character, right? Fine. This will mark at the beginning of the Time War, we now say, when the Doctor was sent back to wipe out the Daleks at their birth, right? This was the first time we meet Davros, who looks significantly less threatening than he would be in later appearances. I thought he looked fantastic then. I'm sorry, Zeddy. Yeah, I think it all looked great. Along with Nyder, his right-hand man and head of security. There was a convention once where they had, this is back when he was alive, obviously, Michael Witcher and, what's his name, Nyder. And Michael Witcher performed like the, one of the Davros ranting, and it was like, would he, the virus. If you had a virus, would you release it? That was this the power and put me up amongst the gods. That speech, and it had like Nyder standing behind. I wish I could remember the name of the actor. Peter, was it St. Miles standing behind him, very like menacingly, like Nyder, like that, basically all through it, right? Now Nyder's not particularly nice man. His overall slam demeanor didn't give it away. Well, that is fair. Then just look what he's wearing. He's clearly dressed as if he's auditioning for the Nazi National Socialists from Germany in the 1930s party. The Daleks were inspired by them. Yes, exactly. Partway through the filming of the series, the production team decided they wanted to tone down the imagery. As a result, they removed it from the costume. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe I don't know. They said we have to get rid of the iconography or something because we're moving to a new world. This was an intentional mistake. This was brilliant, right? This was absolutely brilliant, right? Look, season 5? Yeah, season 5 was very clever, right? And it all came together well. It really was. It was very, very clever and came together extremely well. This thing, I think, really worked, right? Another close-related mistake, this one coming from Matt Smith's first two-parter, Time with the Angels and Flesh and Stone, one of the greatest openings of all time as well. And the river song, you start out with close-up over hills, and it's blown out the airlock and caught in the tide. It's wonderful, right? It's so bonkers. I love it. It's so unique to that era, right? Although again, it feels very stuff that Patrick Troughton's Doctor would do at the same time as well, right? Basically, a romantic Patrick Troughton, right? I think it was fantastic. Okay, after being cornered by a group of weeping angels in the second episode, it looks like there's no way out for the 11th Doctor, but fortunately for him, all they do is steal his jacket and let him run away. Weeping angels love a bit of tweed. Who knew? However, just a few minutes after it happens, we see the Doctor give a pep talk to Amy, and this jacket's back on. Yeah, no, this is time travel, not continuity error, right? This is when the Doctor was traveling back through his time stream. Again, fantastic bit of acting there by Matt Smith, I have to say, right? Really, genuinely fantastic. And the music by Murray Gold, it had that kind of reversing notes going back, because it's just wonderful, right? Everything was just being hit out of the park at the top of everyone's game. Really, and the eventual denouement, right, where Amy Pond remembers them back into existence. Right, and that great shit. She has a great speech as well. Oh my god, it's wonderful. Right, you never really had a Doctor companion like that before, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe Joe Grant. No, Joe Grant was sweeter. Where are we up to? Later find out that actually talking to Amy is from the future. Thus, he's found another jacket. A great bit of misdirection. Moffat, you sneaky devil. I do agree. That was a good one. A load of sheep, battlefield. Yeah. Okay, this one was the TARDIS walls had warped, right? And they couldn't use it. So essentially, that's why I had the lights turned down, and this was just holes cut in the sheet, right? And you could tell. By the time season 26 rolled around, it's no surprise that the sets were starting to wear down, including the TARDIS itself. After recording the greatest show in the galaxy during the previous season, the center console on the walls that made of the Gallifrey's finest time machine were in a state of serious disrepair. As a result, the walls were junked. Oh, meaning there wasn't a TARDIS set available to use. Oh man, they look. It was Dead Man Walking the entire Sylvester McCoy era, right? This proved quite problematic for the filming of Battlefield. How do you shoot the TARDIS without any TARDIS walls? The production crew worked their way around it fairly cleverly. They hung up sheets, dimmed the light so nobody could tell. It really, yes. If you look closely, you can make out the crease on the fold. Well, you had the vinyl wall in the Troughton era and the Hartnell and Troughton era, didn't you? Yeah, and you could tell it was vinyl. It's quite obvious. You can make up the creases perfectly in character. Doesn't provide a satisfactory explanation. With the TARDIS in such a bad way, maybe it's a good thing the old girl was about to take a 16-year holiday from our screens. Not really. Horny helmets. Well, the girl who died. Oh, girl who died was a nightmare. Not a nightmare. It was just not as good as it should be. Right? That was way too not a nightmare. It was just it should have been better. Look, the problem is this, that Maisie Williams, she looked like when she was the woman who lived, or the girl who lived, or whatever it's called, she just looked too young to convey everything. It didn't work, right? You needed to be a little bit older to really convey that. Or a little bit younger, one of the two. Right, she was just in the wrong age. She was too old and too young. You could have gone either way on that. So if she was a really young kid, what's her name? Kirsten Dunst, an interview with a vampire, that worked. That totally worked. That sort of thing, right?
Have you ever met anybody who loves to correct you in annoying pieces of trivia? Well, those people will have a field day with the Viking thing in the episode in Series 9, where the 12th Doctor and Clara end up in the Viking village and encounter Maisie Williams as Shildar. They also encounter a bunch of your typical Viking, big beard, loves to fight, horn helmets. Excuse me, said that person. Vikings didn't don't actually have horns on their helmets. That design can actually be traced in an entirely different society. Thank you very much. First of all, yes, random person, you're right. Second of all, writer Jay Mathern knew this full well, but he chose to not to explain it, finding the misconception about Viking armor was rather amusing. He chose not, but it's hardly an immersion-breaking detail. Well, yeah, I guess so. Simply, since most of us believe Vikings wore horns, yeah, listen, why are Jesus movies believable when he's blonde-haired and blue-eyed, right, and super white, right? Because that's our mental image of him, right? It's yeah, no. Somebody from that neck of the woods doesn't look like that, right? And didn't then either. Fine. Wrong time. Yes. Okay. This is because they flipped the shot for some reason. Yeah, let's find out why. Right. Again, but this bit when people saw this effect shot and the CG Slovene shot crashing, ship crashing. Yeah, if you weren't there, you have no idea of the elation. It was incredible. Like, oh my god, yeah, and finally. That's how I felt about Picard. Like, oh my God, finally they made Star Trek. Oh, finally they don't hate Star Trek, right? That's what it is. The first two-parter of Alien Line of World War III saw the Dr. Rose and Harriet Jones, as we know, and we know she is, do battle with the Slovene. The big bad buggers, okay, make their presence felt by crashing a spaceship into the Thames River in perhaps one of the most famous shots from that episode, from the series, excuse me. The wing of the spaceship cuts through the faces of Elizabeth Tower. It's called Big Ben, isn't it? Yes, Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is actually the name of the bell. Okay, thank you very much. Pushes the glass up and goes, God, you're annoying. However, if you look closely, you'll notice it's the wrong clock face. No one's looking that closely. The numbers are the wrong way around. They get smaller as they go around clockwise. As it turns out, that's because the team who made the model of Tower were initially told that it was a left wing of the ship that was going to crash it. That was going to be the one doing the smashing. So that's how they filmed it, right? However, during post-production, it was decided the right wing looked better. As a result, they flipped it. But no one bloody noticed. I mean, if you did, you're a weirdo. Okay? It was just a delightful shot. Now, when Jodie Whittaker episodes made mistakes, you notice, and it was a big deal because the episodes were so awful. You're like, and actors wrong as well. Right? The heart is a captain of the ship. Late night performances of Shakespeare Code. Well, yeah, no, this was, they talked about this in Doctor Who Confidential, right? And also, they talked about having no boats on the Thames as well because it was too expensive. There's a catch. Martha and Doctor go and see the play during the evening, and the time of day most of us associate with the theatre. However, back in their Shakespearean time, they are held mostly during the day. Why? Because electric lighting. The entire reason why the globe had no roof, so letting as much light as possible. Yes, that's true. The episode's originally scripted with the daytime performances in mind, but when the production team were told they could only shoot in the New Globe Theatre at night, the script was changed to reflect this. It was also felt that the nighttime setting would add to the more ominous feel. I think that it is true. Like, look, bottom line is, it's not a documentary, right? It's an entertainment, right? I said that many times. Regenerating shoes, yes. Yeah, listen, it's not the first time we caught regenerating clothes, but this doesn't explain the recent regeneration. Oh, how many months to go now? Like 9 months to go? Yeah. 9 months to go. Man, we can have a baby in that time. All good things come to an end. At the very next episode, the Fifth Doctor is wearing different shoes to what the Fourth Doctor was wearing when he regenerated. Apparently, there's a very good reason for this, and the reason is a very funny reason at that. What is it? It's said the long leather boots that Baker wore as part of the costume weren't from the wardrobe department. He owed them himself. Okay. So when he came time for him to get out, he took them with them. No time or magic. Well, why they didn't have another pair of boots in the wardrobe department? Really? That seems a bit much. Verity's questionable writing. Oh, that's interesting. The end of time part 2, right, where he goes and meets her. I never really picked up on what was going on in this exchange, but let's hear this. End of time farewell tour is one of the most iconic sequences in Doctor Who history. Agreed, right? I agree. A conveyor belt of ex-companions saying, I mean, like, I preferred it when you just saw, like, you know, their face, Doctor, right? You know, I prefer that. No, you must die, Doctor, die. Change, my dear. 3 eyes in one sentence. Exactly, a very egotistical young lady. Blah, 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 blah. In one, David then says goodbye to Verity Newman, the great-granddaughter of the Doctor's human love interest, Joan Redfern. Remember when he hid his Time Lord? Notice there were scarecrows, and the kid from Love Actually was there. Who's from Love Actually? Whatever. The Doctor meets her signing for a book, which was based on one of the Jones' interactions with John Smith in a neat little scene. You probably don't notice that. Notice is that Variety doesn't actually write anything while she's scribbling away. She's just hovering a pen over the paper. Clearly, the actress Jessica Hynes was told not to put pen to paper for whatever reasons. Maybe the sound of writing distracted from the scene. Maybe he didn't want to ruin a perfectly nice book. Well, maybe they had like 10 takes they got to do, or maybe it's some secret Gallifreyan writing technique. Who knows? That's a weird one. That is a weird one. I did not notice that. Right? I did not notice that. That one really is very strange. Okay. Well, that is odd. That is odd. Fine. Maisie Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.